welcome to both of you. It's wonderful to have you here. I think Sunny will be joining us shortly. I wanted to use this session to talk to you both about stardom and how that term seems to be changing in what it means in 2025. So I want to start with the sort of streaming versus theatrical debate that everyone goes on about. So I feel like the best Hindi language storytelling performances, writing nowadays is all on streaming. It's not on the big screen. But as an actor, as someone trying to sort of find stardom, as any actor would, do you feel streaming is enough? Or does it still feel like a stepping stone to the big screen? Is the big screen still the dream for the both of you?
First of all, hello everyone. I feel OTT was once a space where talent spoke louder than stardom. You know, there were newer faces, there were stronger performances, but with the rising budgets and growing competition, the star system has been creeping in, I feel. I mean, I have faced that shift during the release of Scoop also. When the show released, I was not seen as a star or the face of OTT. No problem, please come. So when Scoop released, I was not seen as the star or the face of the OTT, phase. But the story found its own audience, and that happened because the platform believed in the story and the script and not the star, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think I see the shift. There is a shift in the... there is a star which attract the eyeballs for sure. But however, I feel OTT should not lose the main essence, which is performance.
And talent.
So that's what I feel.
Tanishaa, what about
Now, can I answer? Thanks. That was a good insight, actually, Karishma. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I would first say, what do we define as stars? A star is basically somebody who's popular and extremely popular. And I think, Karishma, after Scoop, you became a star. People didn't have the opportunity to see you. OTT gave you that opportunity to be seen in a role that really you epitomized, and you really took that role to another level. And, I think that's the brilliance of OTT, that it gives, everybody, and it gives a wider range of people. Thing is, see, with Bollywood being on screen, there are limited theaters, limited production houses, and with such as the budgets keep increasing, because we're catering to a larger market. We are catering to a market. I agree, OTT is also catering to that larger market, but OTT can afford to have, how should I say, audience brackets. Like an OTT, you will find your audience. A Bollywood film cannot afford that. We can't afford to find our audience. The theater will kick you out. You'll be out of the theaters. There's no finding your audience, which is why the good writing is going on OTT. It's going on OTT for this reason. Because our mass audiences and mass public, yes, they're consuming OTT, yes, whatever, but for a Bollywood film, on some level, some of the really dumbest films have been the biggest hits. The biggest hits. And I won't take names. And I'm like, how is this working? Because there is an audience out there for that. Exactly. There is an audience out there for that. It might not appeal to me because I'm an elitist audience, and I'll be honest about that. But it appeals to somebody who's giving it that 200 crores, right? So from that note, I feel that, yes, the star system will creep into OTT. Yes, of course. The bigger the star, the more they want the stars on OTT, because even OTT now is, again, understanding what Bollywood knows, which is more subscribers, more. They all want more. Everybody wants to keep growing. It's, how much you are working on your content, no matter how hard you're working on your content, how well you're making the subject, the moment there's a star attached to it, it becomes a bigger project. you know. So I mean, that is the game, right? That is what commercialism is. That's what capitalism is. So of course it's going to creep in everywhere. It's not.
But fortunately, now I think the audience is more content driven. You know, so if they don't see that interest and that attention is not created in that first episode, they have the power to switch it off.
They reject the stars also.
Yeah, they reject the stars
reject
also.
the
So I
stars
think
also
content is
on
the
OTT.
king.
Yeah.
which is heartening.
It also, I just want to add that it also depends on the algorithm set by the platform itself. So, if you're going to spend money on marketing your film on an OTT platform, maybe it should be to the guy setting the parameters on that algorithm so that your film or show pops up first.
But the question I'd asked Sunny was about stardom, because if the definition of that is changing, do you feel when the finest writing and storytelling is on streaming and OTT, but from an actor's perspective, is that enough? Is that enough for a career, or are actors still aiming for the big screen? Is that still the dream?
I think that in 2025, the entire industry has done a 360. There has been so many different things that happen between studios and our OTT platforms, which makes it very difficult for a producer, a director, a writer to then get their show on an OTT platform, because it's flipped. They've literally flipped the switch, and they want to see how you perform in a theater before they want to buy your show or buy your film, which then puts producers, directors, and filmmakers who are maybe creating a lower budget film or show in such a really tricky position, because how do you take the risk of putting it in the theater when we know that the theater is not making money, but the money is in the platform, the OTT platform? So I think it's like very, very difficult, regardless of the name, because we've seen lots of films that have huge names that don't do well. We've seen, smaller budget films that have great stories and great acting, and it just blows off the charts.
I feel like this is a good time to bring up your film Kennedy, which is Anurag Kashyap's film, which was made a few years ago. I saw it at Mami. It's a very good film, and it's still not managed to find a home. And we hope that changes soon.
I needed to find a home, along with all the other actors, along with Anurag sir and everyone. We definitely want to find that home. Do you know one? Because I will personally go pitch that film.
I'll make some calls. I also wanted to ask all of you, there's this whole idea that within the industry, talent, unfortunately, isn't enough. You're an actor. There's also the sort of the PR positioning, perception game. So I guess I wanted to ask all of you, what advice would you have to an upcoming actor who has the talent, maybe has just arrived on the scene, but now needs to learn how to navigate that space?
So I would say that's not true anymore. Talent will get seen. We are in a time which is an age of social media and information. So if you have that talent, you will be seen. You will, first it used to be, अरे director के सामने आना पड़ता है actor को, producer के सामने आना पड़ता है, which is why you have those stories of I walked into a restaurant and a director spotted me and you got discovered. Nowadays, hello, Instagram, YouTube, you have YouTube. The biggest platform, make your own movies, put it out, use a camera. If you have talent, with the kind of apps, with the kind of social media, with AI, with everything that's exploding everywhere, you will get seen. It's not any longer that this thing. So I will reject your hypothesis saying that talent is enough. It is enough. And the point is how much talent. You unfortunately can't be little talented. You need to be able to sing, you need to be able to dance, you need to be able to act, you need to be able to, vocalize, you need to be able to do, to be an actor today and to be at that level, you have to be an all-rounder and you have to be that big. And now maybe you also need to learn how to direct. So, the game is just, it's getting upped. It's not getting,
So I'll agree and disagree with this. I'll agree that you have to use all these different avenues to become popular. I'll disagree with that it just takes talent, because so many people out there that I've met and so many young people I've met who are unbelievably talented, but yet they just can't get there. And why they can't get there? Because there's a lot of things that are monopolized within the industry. And what you have to do to get that role, or what you have to say, or the people that you need to meet, or the socializing. So I'll agree and disagree. But what I do believe in, something that you said was using different platforms to gain that popularity. So when we talk about social media, we're talking about YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is not here, but Snapchat and all these different things. If you are creating this content and creating a space for yourself where your name becomes so big, or your views, then that gives a producer, different brands, different companies that will want to use you. And that's something that, you know, my company has tapped into for myself, is we use this leverage of the social media and all of the traffic that we would get to different websites, or we would, you know, all the millions of followers. That works in my benefit, where maybe people don't think I have talent, but I do have something else in my back pocket, which is I can make you more money than somebody else can. And that's what it comes down to when, you know, you're an artist, is how much money you're going to bring to the director, to the producer, to the brand. And if I can show that in statistical data that I can bring, you know, X amount to you, then it's great. So all those young people build those brands and build your name and build who you are so far up there that they want to use you because you bring something that someone else doesn't.
You can bring an audience at the very least.
A mix of both, actually.
No, but like, what advice do you have for someone trying to navigate that world, which is talent is on one side?
You know, there is no trying anymore because they are so talented, as Tanishaa said, that, you know, there are so many influencers who have now become actors because of the platform they have, you know. And we actors are just sitting sometimes, waiting for the right project to come, and the influencers are taking it over. Why? Because they have the talent of showing and creating that content on Instagram, which we actors can't do. We are still struggling for some reason. Yeah, I'm seeing the A-listers also doing the trends because it's trending. You know, so it's a struggle for me. I mean, if tomorrow the social media shuts, I'm okay. Frankly, it's too much task and too much headache to handle all of this. But having said that, yes, talent, there's two ways to look at it, as in there are influencers and there are newer actors who are, you know, showcasing their talent on social media. And whereas there are proper actors who are not on social media, but the producers and the platforms are finding them and giving them work because it's pure talent. So it's both ways. It works both ways.
But that's still rare. I mean, a lot of casting directors have talked about how they've been told to cast based on Instagram following. That's also the world we live in.
Based on the followers. Just imagine. Matlab, khatam.
Well, it comes down to that this, you know, people get confused that the entertainment industry is all about art, but it's not. It's also about how much money you're making and what you're going to bring to the table. How many tickets are you going to sell? Because that's, you know, what it all comes down to. We work on social media because you make money on social media. I just got an offer. I'll give you an example. I just got an offer to go on this. To go to this country, and they're going to film myself and the family. And they also offered 2-3 other families. But one of those families doesn't use Instagram. So what's the point? But the name of that person is way above my name. But the thing is that those offers, you know, don't come to all people. You know, you have to like weigh out what you want to do in life, obviously. Social media is not for you, great, because that means I'm going to make more money.
But I have to also say that that's one thing that I feel is killing Bollywood. That it's it's become about numbers. It's no longer about passion. It's no longer about, there was a time when a producer used to keep his house girvi karke picture banata tha. There was so much passion. There was risk. You didn't have a choice. You had to make a film that people would love, and something that you believed in. Today, we're just making projects. There's a corporate house that's saying, "Ye Instagram followers itne hai." They're like, like she said, no talent. It's all about who your follower is, how's you're doing, and putting together these projects, which
The
I
proposal.
feel is also killing. Why is Bollywood not working in the cinemas? Why are the South able to give hit after hit? Why are they able to bring their audiences in? Because they still are making films with passion. They believe in a project. When Rajamouli made Bahubali, nobody believed in him. They laughed at him for making a 100 crore film at that time. So, they were like, what is he doing? What is this rubbish? What is coming out of the South? And now today everybody is running that way because, well, so that's what I have to say about like
But
social
Tanisha, I
media
wanna-
and everything. I think that the corporates
Yeah.
and the money, the fact that we're chasing money is actually killing the industry. So when I mean, you are all young people here today, I would say that I appeal to you all to chase passion. Bring it back. Bring back your passion to do something. Don't just do it for money. Have those integrity, values, all of those things.
But Tanisha, I want to ask you because you've also done films and you've come from that Yash Raj, exactly, that Yash Raj
I've only
era.
done films. I haven't done
Given-
OTT, sorry.
Oh, you have not,
Only
you've not done OTT, yes. So you've come from films and that Yash Raj era and all. Given a choice, would you get that back or just continue the way how
You can have
it's-
my job.
Yeah, I'm just, I
Please, please.
Honestly, yes. I mean, I think the audiences want to see that. They want to go into theaters and watch amazing movies. Like, like I'm dying to go to the theater and watch a film. But unfortunately, I don't want to see some of the films that are releasing today. Like, I just don't want to watch them. I watch the trailer and I'm like, oh God, like, why? Like, I question it. But then I'm audience. I don't claim to be a filmmaker. I claim to be audience. I only look at things as audience.
I want to thank all of you for your time. Thank you for your perspective. And thank you for some optimism, which I think all of us could really use these days. So thank you so much.